Should be about to be live. It always takes a few minutes for mine to pop up. Here we are. I got all my lights on. What's up, Sizzle Nick? So I'm gonna install this side tray. I'm going to be using that in the lives to hold my. Normally, I have to come up with some kind of a contraption to. I usually been using 5-gallon buckets or something, setting it on a stool so that I can put my iPad on it to look at the chat. So I'm hoping that this is going to end up being about the right height to where I can just fold it up and move my cart over and use that. So my whole entire garage is a disaster because working on my garage, I've been coming home in the afternoons if I've worked out in the field, which for the most part last week I primarily worked on my garage. I think I went to town maybe 2 days, but me and Miss Maintenance and one of my sons we just got back. That's why I wasn't here Thursday. We took a trip to Blue Ridge Mountains, so that's why I wasn't available Thursday. We were out in the middle of nowhere, no signal much. What's up, Denny? Jeff Bowery switched his picture. Abraham. See, TPG, Clint's in here. Matt's in here. Some way. I don't think I missed anybody else. I kind of went up and looked at the pregame real fast. Oh, yeah, Pie Guy. I saw him earlier. And Sizzle Nick. So I'm going to put that on there. Then hopefully I'll be able to use that during this and not have to look sideways. Knock out 2 things. But like I said, we were at Blue Ridge Mountains in Georgia. So that's where we were Thursday. I got a pair of Klein. Let me get behind you so I can kind of see. Old pair of Kleins at a thrift store. I found these for $7 and something. Pair of Klein lineman pliers. I got to clean them up still, but I did clean up. Let's see. This enough when I got home to see what the date is. I don't know if this is a model number here. Like this is LIK is like the IK is 52. IK is 52. So these are 1952. The L is whatever quarter it is. I can't remember what that is. But I don't know what the 17Z1. I don't know if that's part of the model number or something or what. I haven't seen that on some of my other ones, so I don't know what that's for. I tried looking that up and couldn't find that. So ended up getting these. I'm going to clean them up. Hopefully get them as good looking as my other old Kleins. These are a pair of, I want to say they was 8-inch maybe. They might be 9s. 8.5-inch in length. Georgia Super Speeder. Yeah, I couldn't let Miss Maintenance drive the whole time. Didn't want to lose more of my tool money. So this is that U.S. General side cart. I got black instead of the red just because I got some black stuff on that. And I thought it'd look better to have the black kind of folded down. And I thought if black scratches up or something, it's probably going to be easier for me to patch black than it would be for me to patch that red color. I'm assuming this is just taking out these bolts over here and putting this on. Based on the picture. Oh, we got new bolts though. They had an old pair of Channel Lock brand diagonal type pliers too, but they were pretty pitted real bad. They were only $4. I didn't buy them. I would think these are the same as what's in there. We'll see. What's up, Roy? Remove the opposite of the handle. That's what I figured, which is a 13 millimeter, if I remember right. I can probably come closer. Let's see. See how easy it swivels? Let's see where I got it at. What's up, Roger? Blovit. Turn a little bit that way, maybe. Actually, if I turn it that way, you're probably gonna be looking at my butt. So we'll do this. Yeah, I'm hoping this comes out to about the right height of where I like to have my iPad for these chats and stuff. Then I won't have to build anything anymore. Roy's got to do the swivel wheel dealio to my cart. I think unless you're somebody who like, now, if you were going to push this around like a factory or something like that, you know, it's a lot harder to stay straight. Like if you were walking down like a, in between like shelving racks and all that kind of stuff, you got to pay a little bit more attention, especially if you had it loaded up or something. But I think if you're just going to be moving it around like you're like a garage or something, it's just so much easier to get it, especially if you're pretty crowded like what I am here right now. It's got to be so much easier. Sure, you don't need the mid torque for those 13s. I might have to get out the high torque. I don't think I could fit that in here though. These are the ones that are a pain to get to. Will come out level close to the top. So close to here. I wish it came out a little lower, but I'll live with that, I guess. That'll probably still work. Because that might actually even be better, because sometimes mine's not up that high and I have to still look down a lot. So that might be better. I usually put a bucket on something, then stick that iPad on a bucket. A hex adapter on your vessel electric would be good there. Let's see, I got. This is Fat Finger Guy's worst nightmare right here, the bottom. That and these are like lock nuts, so you can't just spin them off as easy till you get to a certain point. I'll go ahead and lock this one too. Come on, baby. Yeah, this one's the one with that gas spring in the way. All right, those are out. Put her on, put the bolts in. Also, the plate's got some that take the Allen heads, it looks like, for the stoppers, I guess. Let's see. What's it say to put in first? If mounting to a full bank cart, that's where you use those. That ain't what we got. If mounting to the 5-drawer cart, basically just putting 4 bolts back in. I don't think these are any different than those, so I'm just going to put the same ones back in. While these nuts are different. Because it says use the 4 carriage bolts. Actually, I'm going to use the ones that, if they fit through there, I'm going to use the ones that came with it if they're the same, because they got a little bit bigger head. They're the same threads. And they are. I'll come over to this side. Full bank is cooler. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a full bank one myself. I like the long, that size drawer. So I'd like to have like one of those, maybe eventually. Maybe one day when I get that Mad HMM Clint money. See if I can get these kind of slightly snug, and then that way I can put the other ones in. Boom. Dropped one of those nuts somewhere. Right there. What's up, John? The extra mounting hose may allow you to adjust up. I think it'll work out pretty good right there, because that should be about, because I've been putting it on my bucket and it's been kind of still down to where I'm looking down at it. This might make it be pretty much right in my vision. Because if I'm sitting here, Like that's pretty good. So if that's about close to the same, it's going to be all right. This was easy enough. I don't know if they've got any. I mean, I know they got a lot of other accessories that are just like magnetic stuff, like a glove holder and all that, but I don't know if they sell anything else that's like you mount to it type of thing. But this was one of them I thought was pretty good that you might as well buy if you got the cart. Where's it gotta go? Fiskars is gonna make bank off you. Yeah, I'm torquing these down to 7 Joey meters, which is the equivalent to 75 Newton meters. There it is. So you just go like this. I might end up moving that to the other side now, because if I put stuff in there, it's gonna. So when you fold it up, is it supposed to get folded up? I guess it's supposed to just hang down like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll move this to that other side. Now I can do this. Like these dudes. Sit like this. Boom. Just about right. And also, boom. And now I won't have to make something every live. Because every live I'm always coming up with, I'm sticking stuff all over this. Because sometimes I'd use a bucket one week, and then the next week that bucket would have a bunch of stuff in it, so I'd have to find something else. I'm stacking packouts up on it. Clint said he tried the mat. Doesn't fit on the shelf. I did finally get the mag mat. So while I was in Blue Ridge and driving through, I went to a Home Depot that was there. I got some clearance. They had the Milwaukee gloves on sale, and then they had a bunch of stainless steel 15 gauge nails on sale, so I picked up a bunch of those. But they also had a Harbor Freight. I've went in my Harbor Freight about 6 times now, and they've never had these out, and the guy basically tells me, you got to be here the day the truck comes in. As soon as they come in, they're gone. So I went in there and they had some. So I was finally able to get my hands on one of these too. So I could also put this out here sometimes and use it in that situation, but I'm probably going to put it on there for now. Hope I got a good one. Uh-oh. Yeah, that stuck pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's holding a socket horizontally. I got that one locked, so it's going to pivot. Depends on how you hit it. Mag mat fits on it on the closed top very well. Yeah, these 15 gauge nails, normal price on these were like $40. They're stainless steel, that's why they're pretty expensive. And they also had their framing nails for the 21 degree framer, which is what I've got. But I was like, man, I very rarely, I've used that on my garage here, and that's about it. I don't really use it in my work that much, especially for stainless steel nails. I don't use it outside hardly ever. So, and if I hadn't already bought all the nails that I needed for my garage, I'd have went ahead and bought some. But is that the pecan coffee? Yes. You know your grandma or mom is scorning you for not using a coaster. Yeah, I have to clean off my. Yeah, I said that's another reason why I got black instead of the red, because I figure if I put stuff on here and it scratches, it's a whole lot easier to take something and kind of repair black a little bit easier than that red. So, and I just thought the U.S. General, these like the drawer fronts kind of like are accented black. So I just thought I'd go ahead and get black of this too and let it be an accent. They do have magnetic cup holders. Yeah, so I've already got I know they sell these. I've got a set of this that these are Craftsman that are magnets to hold a paper towel. So I've already got those that I saw some people put on them. And then I've already got I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, I can probably get over to it. A magnetic like glove box. This one's OEM Tools or something like that. So some people have those, which I've had one of these where the glue came off. I got to re-glue it, but it still works fine without that even, but holds a box of gloves. Don't put gray on red. Matt will call you out. I was rewatching an older MM video, and it's amazing how much of an upgrade you've made audio-wise. It wasn't bad. It's just better now. Yeah, these Holly Land, they're pretty good. And even better are those. I still need to do it. I bought the DJI mics, like the minis, and because they automatically connect to my DJI without you having to do anything. So that's why I bought them, because it makes me not have to plug something into it and all that kind of stuff. But you can also plug that into your phone, and the mic on it is pretty amazing. Like if you use it, but I haven't spent the time. I think I've got to go into the DJI app on my phone and connect them somehow or something or other. But these work really well, so I've been using these. These have been pretty good. I had the previous version of these before this set right here, and then they had this set on sale, so I ended up buying it. I like how it hooks into the phone a lot better than the previous one that I had. It makes a big difference. Like if I was telling somebody that was starting a YouTube channel, like the first thing that you should probably buy yourself is a microphone, because that's the big thing. If something sounds like not crappy, somebody's more likely to watch it. But because normally, like whenever I was first starting on the tool reviews, the phone's right there at my face. So it's obviously going to pick up everything I say pretty easily. But you could even hear, like if I just turn my head a certain way or something like that, like you could hear the change. So you don't really catch it so much, or you wouldn't think it'd make that big a deal, but it actually makes a big difference. Need to start another sticker collection. I picked up a bunch of stickers while I was down there of all kinds of things. I think I might actually make a video of one of these, a me and Miss Maintenance video. So I might not share some of them with you. But some of the, like I said, I get a sticker whenever I go places and stick them on my cabinets and stuff. So again, we went to the Blue Ridge in Georgia. That's the first time we've been there. And then on our way there and on our way back, we stopped at the Rock City and Lookout Mountain. We've been there several times, but we just stopped there on our way back through to pick up something. I went ahead and got a sticker because I didn't get one last time we were there. So that was one of them. And then this was a place where we went and saw a waterfall. This was a park that we went to while we were in Blue Ridge. Amicalola, I guess. Amicalola Falls State Park. I don't know how close I am to the screen there. So I got that one. And then Jeff sent me a couple stickers. Jeff Bowery sent me the Texas Tool and Equipment. And some way that was the store that we were trying to remember what Jeff had told us the other day. And you said some other store and you weren't impressed with that. But this is the store he was talking about. And that's the same sticker there. And these are the ones that I might make a video. And we'll do like a funny video talking about those. So I might not share those. And then I saw this one in a store. And I got that one since it's red and stuff. So it's kind of a big deal. Is that John Wayne on that sticker? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the one that Jeff sent me. The grit one. It looks like him to me. All grit, no quit. The biggest thing from his first video is the lighting. Yeah, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make that even better. Because right now, let's see. I put all these lights in here. Like I've just got random lights spaced out. But I've got my kayaks up there. That's where I store them. And I'm going to be able to get those out of here now. And then I'm going to probably just redo the entire lighting in here and kind of spread it out better. But then I also put up those lights over there. Now I don't turn those on during the lives because it kind of bleeds me out type thing. But they're pretty bright. They've been a big difference as far as for the tool review side of things. So those are like high bay lights or whatever. I got those on clearance. I ended up getting like I think I got those, ended up getting them for like $25 a piece or something like that. I bought like 8 of them. And I wish now I would have kept them. I sold the rest of them. I only kept 2 and I sold the rest and basically made money and paid for those 2. But now I wish I'd have kept them because I might have to find some. So hopefully I'll be able to make it a little bit, because I can't really put lights most places because my kayaks have always been in the way. And again, that doesn't affect me other than filming YouTube videos. So that doesn't affect me in my just normal day-to-day stuff. Rory proposed to his wife at Lookout Mountain. Nice. Yeah, we've been there. It's a big joke in our family. So we went there. I don't know. My kids were a little bit young, so it's been a little while. I don't think they were super, super young, but they were younger. So we went to there. I think we went somewhere else, but we stopped there and we went to, Rock City. And then they've got a thing inside of Rock City called Fairy Tale Caverns. And you pay to go through that and stuff. And it's comical. Like it's almost like going to like an old Disneyland, like all the old stuff that if you went to Disneyland today and it was like what it was back in 1960 or whatever, that kind of type stuff. And it was just comical. But the people were going, we had this big group of people in front of us taking pictures of every single little thing. So it's all about like Mother Goose stuff and all that kind of stuff like that, like little village things built of them and all that kind of stuff. It's really kind of just dumb, but you pay money to do it because you don't know what it is. But we still laugh about like how dumb it kind of was. Clicky Tech got the blackout stuff, picked up the entire set. Yeah, I haven't been to Lowe's. I just got back home yesterday, so I've got to go to Lowe's in the morning and pick up. I'm going to Lowe's in the morning to pick up some vinyl trim boards, and then I'm gonna go to my to a vinyl siding place and pick up all my soffit material and the vinyl siding for my gable. All I've got left on my outside of my building is the fascia stuff, the soffit stuff, and basically some trim. And then I've got to finish out the inside of my porch area, which I decided instead of doing vinyl soffit for it's not really a porch. I'd call it more of an overhang, I guess, ceiling. I've got tons of this LP siding that I've been using. It's flat siding, not like horizontal siding. I'm just going to use that because I want to use can lights, and I don't really like the way can lights fit in vinyl soffit. You get those gaps and all those grooves. You can kind of see through wasp and stuff go up in there like crazy. So I'm just going to build it out of that because I got a lot of that left over, which I've also bought a lot of that extra. That's what I'm going to use on the inside walls too, and I got a good deal on it, so I went ahead and bought enough to do the inside walls. But outside, I'm getting pretty close to being done. My garage door is not going to be here till like the 31st, so I won't be 100. I'm not going to start working on like making the opening over here into that extra area and all that stuff until I get my garage door on, because I don't want that to be open and me not be able to have it like closed up. So Clint got his Knipex Christmas twin grips. I haven't ordered a pair yet. I've had a pair in a Jersey discount store cart. Now House of Tools has them. You can buy them there. I haven't picked up a pair yet. If I buy the twin grips, it's going to be, which that's kind of what my other ones are for too. I don't use them in the field. They stay in here in my one pouch, but I've got enough twin grips because I got like 4 of that size already in the red, just because I bought the set with the small and the big, and it came with another 200. I already had 2 other pairs of 200. So I don't really need another pair of them for sure, because I definitely I don't use them as much as I use a pliers wrench or a Cobra. So it would definitely be just for hey, it's a collectible thing type thing. What's up, Breaking Free? So I see Steve's Woodshop and Tool Reviews in here. Looks like he got him a mod box cart and the apron. And then I saw Tools and Tactics. I don't know if he had the cart or not, but I think I didn't watch it. I just was scanning through some thumbnails where I think he got the apron thing as well. I'm hoping they send me one of them carts. I wouldn't mind having one of them carts myself. What's up, Woodchuck? Like the side table. Yeah, I bought it, which I was going to go ahead and buy it just because it's like, you might as well buy it while they have it type of thing. I mean, it's something to add on here that really doesn't affect anything if you put it down. In fact, it kind of gives you more of if you're going to use magnets and stuff on the side, it kind of gives you more of a flat space for magnet stuff, even if you put it on and leave it folded down all the time. But after I had this put together, and I was sticking my, I was actually the last couple lives I've been sticking my uh, iPad in this drawer right here. I've been opening this up and then just sticking it in that, stacked up on some mod boxes. And I thought, well, if I buy that side table thing, I can just put my iPad like directly on it. And I'll just I basically roll this toolbox like this every time I do a live and just use it to hold my iPad. Tactics didn't get the cart, but the apron. But Steve's got a video. I can't remember if I saw a post and it's coming out or if you put it out and I haven't watched it yet, Steve, but I saw that he's got something on the mod box. I think it's coming out. Maybe. I think it was a post I saw. I haven't watched a lot. I didn't watch any YouTube last couple of days, so I'll have to get caught up because where we were didn't have a signal. For some reason, like I could text, but I couldn't send pictures, like whatever that equals out to. You know, you didn't have basically like a data type signal. Tomorrow, he said. What's up, Tom? Thing sure does roll smoothly. Yeah, with the, and I've got one of them like locked, so it's pivoting right now. Yeah, without the you put on the, I mean, you can move this thing wherever you want to. I got so much stuff in here I can't move it around much, but you put on them swivel casters. I mean, it's like having one of those dollies, you know, on the packout and all that kind of stuff. Which is, that makes it nice for me because I can tuck it in places. You don't have to sit there and go back and forth a bunch of times. Like I said, I could see if I was going to, even then, I'd still probably do it that way. But if I was going to like walk across entire factories with this cart and go up and down and had to make sure I, you know, didn't roll over and bump into somebody walking towards me and all that, then you put on the two fixed ones, it's more likely to stay straight, you know, that kind of a thing. But you're going to have to, you know, do that kind of stuff whenever you're trying to get it somewhere. How weird it doesn't say your name anymore. It's, I noticed that. I was like, I didn't know why, because normally it says Abraham, and this your name on here now is what it shows when you do comments a lot of times. But now it's swapped it, which I need to swap to all messages now that I say that. Hovercraft tool cart. Steve was a PSL holder for the St. Louis Rams. Are those boxes in the back for the mod box video? No, those, not, it is all stuff from Klein, but none of them's mod box stuff. Yeah, the Tennessee Titans are the closest team to, there for a long time. The Cincinnati Bengals were the closest team to me, and then now the Tennessee Titans are a little bit closer than the Cincinnati Bengals. Sadalgo, I earned the Sadalgo title. It better still show it. Yeah, see, some people like TPG's one of them. Like his will say, I think in here it says onus bonus, or I always forget which way. Yeah, onus bones is TPG, and then on its comments, it's the Practical Gadgeteer. And then you never know what the Tool Collector 72 and Clint, he just swaps back and forth all the time. I don't know how he's doing it, but yeah, Salik, or say Saiky, or Sake U a B. I don't even know what that one is, but that's Abraham Perez. But it swaps back and forth on some of you based on if it's in the comment section or in the live. So then it throws me off. So I've gotten kind of the ones who are here all the time, I've gotten used to it, and I know both of them. But there's some people that swap back and forth that I don't know it. Like I think Pie Guy, I want to say he said he's Russ Albright. I think he said. Yeah, there's Clint Cole 1001 says that the Tool Collector 72 is awesome. Yeah, Miss Maintenance is at a baby shower, and I've got to go pick her up here in a little while. And then I'm going to see if I can pick up some of the stuff, and then I'm going to go in the morning and pick up the rest of the stuff. Would I do anything differently when you made the magnetic attachment for my fluke clamp meter? I think that's in my truck. I had it out here just the other day. No, it's been working out pretty good for me the way that I'm doing it, the way that I use it like that. I don't know of anything else that I wish I could do something where it just was on there all the time, but on the back, like what the field piece is. But I could probably come up with something if I really wanted to, but I didn't want to mess with drilling into the back of. That's a really easy way to do it and not really modify your meter and drill an extra hole in it and, worry about, well, what if something gets in there now type of thing. It's been working out pretty well for me. I don't use it all the time. It's just certain situations where I've got something to hang that on. I go ahead and use it. Does the cart hold the long 24-inch pry bars through the holes on the top tray? I don't have a long one of those. Let me get a tape measure though. It would end up, well, it should go all the way down. Like if you run it down in there, it should be able to go almost all the way down to the bottom. So I would think so. I'd say you can probably go roughly 28 inches, 29 inches before it bottoms out, because it should go through these holes, through this little, you can't see. It should go through those holes, pass through, down even through here, because that's lined up with them, and go all the way down till you hit the bottom down there, which gives you about 29 inches. You may have to drill the holes bigger. Yeah, they got a few holes in there that are pretty small. It looks like to me probably like a maybe 5/16 hole for more like 1/4 inch hex stuff. And then they got one that's probably a 1/2 inch, and one that's like they got 4 of them that's probably for like a 1/4 inch hex screwdriver or that kind of shaft. 4 of them that look like about like 1/2 inch knockout holes, and then 3 of them that look like about like they're 3/4 or somewhere around there holes. I don't know if the other side's the same or not. Yeah, other side's the same, just reversed. Did I just spy Square D? Yeah, I had that, got that from a buddy electrician of mine. So I'm probably going to use that in the extra building out there. They had a bunch of panels and stuff. Like my Lowe's has like 200 amp panels and stuff like that for like super cheap on clearance. But I don't need that big of one out there for sure. I don't even want to take up that much room. I'm only going to be running a couple extra circuits. So I didn't want a really big panel, and he had that. So I told him, I said, well, that'll work for me. What's up, Ted Cook? It's the one pouch wonder in the chat. There's Timinator the Tool Man. If I had all those packouts, I would never know what was in them. Yeah, some of those, I've got little labels on the ones that are the ones I use all the time. A few of those are empty, waiting where I like it's buy more, save more. And like all those, I've got stuff in them. The old Milwaukees, those aren't even packouts. Those are the old ones. And I've been planning on moving those into those as I want to, but I can never make myself do it. So sometimes I buy some of those, maybe like, I think I got one empty of the deep left over. I'm gonna make that my flooring toolbox. And then I think I've got two of those are empty, and then the bottom four of those are. But it was like buy more, save more, and I was buying something else. Like I know whenever I bought the rolling drawer box, I had to buy a couple extra things to get like some money off. So I've got a lot of extra ones that are just waiting. For some reason, it takes something special for me to say, I'm going to use a pack out for that. Like they'll sit up here empty and I'm not even using them. But I feel like I've got to have some like really good thing to put in there to make it worth it or something. I don't know why that is, but didn't read his last few comments. I saw your levels and lasers and something. Got you some annex screwdrivers or screwdriver blades. The wire testicle label still cracks me up. Yeah, so all the pack outs that I got in my truck, those are all labeled. And then the ones like I've got my Bosch laser, I think that's in my truck. I got my M18 router one labeled. I got that ETF 450 thing labeled. I've got my one that says, what's the one that's the door install box? Like I got it labeled. The only ones I haven't spent time labeling yet are the ones that I got like fasteners and stuff in, just because I kind of make those up as I go. That's another thing is like some of those I leave empty and then I'll come in here and I've got pack out cups, like the red ones, like the ones that go in the pack out, full of different screws. And I'll just take like the case itself and stick the screws for whatever that job is in it, like, and then take it with me on that particular job, whatever it is. So sometimes that'll be a mix of Tapcons, framing screws, drywall screws, whatever it is. So sometimes I do that. Once you use it and it's locked into that purpose forever. Yeah. And then I have a hard time like committing to, I'm going to use this $60 pack out case for this that I don't feel like is something I'm going to use that often, but then they'll sit here empty instead, which makes no sense. Because like I said, I've got, the old pack out, they're not pack out. The old Milwaukee cases, I've got probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. I probably got 2 more in my truck. And these still work fine for me the way that because none of these, whenever I take these to my truck, I don't latch them in. I just stick them in the back of my truck. I just bring them in here and I like the way they stack. So that's why I really haven't spent the time to change those over yet, because they're still working for me. I just come in here and grab them and throw them in my truck. But overall, I'd like to have it that way. Sonia keeps a holstery Joey full of 3-inch deck screws. Yeah, so I've got Joey pouches in my truck hanging on a rail. One of them's got 1.25-inch drywall screws because I use them all the time. And then I've got one that's got, I want to say it's the 3-inch framing screws, like decking screws. That's in there all the time. And then other than that, the rest of my stuff is just in cases. Tajimel. The best, they're probably not the best utility blades, like just for everything, but the best utility blades, and I say these specifically, if you guys ever installed drop ceilings, I bought these off eBay. I found a bunch of them. Is the Stanley Fat Max, made in the USA. I don't think there's really anything special about them. Induction hardened. But for the reveal edge tiles, like the ceiling tiles that you gotta, whenever you look at them, they come down into the grid. They're not just flat, and you've got to go around that outside edge and kind of make those fit to make it match everything else. Them have been by far the best for those. Like there's certain tiles that are a pain to cut that off, and then there's some of them that's no big deal, but those work really good for those. And as soon as I found them, they quit selling them, of course, but I ended up finding like somebody who I had like 5 packs of them on eBay, and I bought all of them. Uh-oh. Steve's Wood Shop and Tool Reviews just asked Subway which one was best. Best utility blades I've ever used for utility knives are the Tajimas. Or Matt says I've used a lot of brands, Gold, NES, DeWalt, Carbide, but the Tajima are the best. So what all good YouTube videos came out in the since Thursday, around Thursday or so is when I haven't been anywhere to watch any YouTube videos. Thursday through today. What I miss out there in YouTube land? Anything awesome? Best utility blade is the newest one. Yeah, that's one of them things too that, man, I'll run one of my fastbacks, and I'll have like 200 blades in my truck, and I'll just sit there. My buddy makes fun of me all the time about my knife being so dull. I don't know what it is about not changing them out all the time. Yeah, I was hoping them climbs were going to be older than 52, but 52 is pretty good. I couldn't read the date on them whenever it had so much rust built on it, and I was trying to get it to where I could rub it, and it was getting, that stuff was coming off all over my hands, and I was in the middle of like the day of shopping and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, I don't want to walk around with stuff all over my hands all day. But what's the best way to clean a pair of? Y'all got any tricks and tips? I've always thought you just kind of put it down in they're not super rusty, but I'm going to put them down in some vinegar and let them sit for a while, and then get them out and clean them with like some steel wool. I don't know if y'all got any other tips and tricks, but there's no nicks or anything in the blades, and these don't have that much pitting on them. The channel locks that I looked at had a bunch of pitting, like there was like a lot of material missing. Logo is at first the Chicago USA and the M. Klein Sons is pretty good. You can't hardly see it, but I think once you clean it off, it's going to be pretty good. And then I can see the telephone pole and part of the guy. I don't think somebody really used these as a hammer too awful much, or if they did, they didn't use that side. Raw apple cider vinegar, Evapo Rust. Buy Evapo Rust even at Harbor Freight. Someway likes the breakaway blades. Soaking apple cider. Where did I get them? There was I can't remember what the name of the store was, but basically it was like a consignment thrift store in the middle of this town we were in. They had quite a few old tools. Like I had a bunch of like body auto body type hammers from Mac Tools, tons of those that were older. They were still like 30 something dollars though, but they look pretty nice. Like I almost bought one because it was red. Uh, then the only two pair of pliers I found that were kind of like, they had a bunch of like Craftsman older ratchets and stuff like that, but I didn't want any of them. This was the only pair of Klein anything I found was these. And then they had a pair of channel lock, older pair of diagonals. And they were only $4. I probably should have just went ahead and bought them, but they were in pretty bad shape. And I'm more of a collect Klein stuff than, channel lock and all that kind of stuff. Soak it in cider. Got an after-hour service call. It's big money. Big money Jeff Bowery right there. And then use nail polish remover or goof off to get the darkness that Evapor Rust leaves. So Evapor Rust, I have to look that up. I think I've used vinegar before. Breaking free, just finished painting all 144 garage door surrounds and 24 entry doors on apartment complexes. Never want to use oil-based paint again as long as I live. Oh, I absolutely despise painting with oil-based paint. We used to have volunteer kids come to the place where I used to work every summer, like youth groups and stuff like that would come every summer, weeks at a time, and you'd have to find stuff, that kids could do and, pull weeds and do all that kind of stuff. Well, we had these old handrails around the outside of some of our buildings that were a dark brown color. So one year I had them go around and, sand stuff off and kind of get all the loose paint off of it and all that kind of stuff. And then they were painted with oil-based paint. So I went and got the oil-based paint that was brown. Now they have adults that are with them. It's not like it's just here kids play with paint. But I told them whenever I gave it to them, I was like, this is oil-based paint. I said, so don't get it on anything, including yourselves. Like put down drop cloths, spend the time to do whatever. Don't dip your whole hand down in the paint can and bring out the brush and let it get all over your hand. I was like, this, whatever this gets on, it's on there. It's very hard to get off. I said, so don't get it on anything. So I leave to go check on another group, and I come back, and these kids have drawn mustaches on their faces with it and all kinds of stuff. I was like, y'all have no idea what y'all have just done. And man, oil-based paint is a nightmare. But they had mustaches, goatees, all kinds of stuff on their face with oil-based paint. They had fun getting that off. Tom said, I like looking through those types of stores and flea markets. Yeah, it's pretty rare that I come across them in all honesty. So it was nice to there was actually another place we went while we were there, but they didn't have anything I wanted either. Anything. They had lots of like sockets and both of the places had a ton of those Yankee screwdriver type screwdrivers, but all of them were in pretty bad shape because I would have got one of those if I found a good one, but I'd rather snake toilets than paint for one more hour. Sizzle Neck has the vintage Klein and Sons hacksaw. Good live stream setup. Yeah, that's why I bought this cart specifically for this. Normally I wouldn't be in this position. I just got in this position so that whenever I was installing this thing, diesel fuel removes oil-based paint. Yeah, I despise painting with oil-based paint. Like I hate everything about it. And if I'm going to paint with it, like whatever it is I'm painting with, I'm throwing it away. Like I don't attempt to clean it, any of that stuff. I'll get chip brushes out, whatever. It's like I ain't messing with all that. I thought this was a channel about tools. Everything can be a tool in the right hands. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I haven't got anything in this cart yet either. I ain't had time. Pretty much been working and then working on this building. One of the two, and we're making videos. Even little Debbie's are a tool. Yeah, I wanted to stop. We were in the same area, of course, down there by Rock City and Lookout Mountain and all that. That's where the little Debbie. They've got like a little Debbie playground and a little Debbie store, but Miss Maintenance wouldn't let me go. You could mount a big screen TV in that tool cart for live streams. Yeah, it would be nice to have it like you fold that up and it's like boom. I tried to do a TV. I actually brought a TV out here and hooked it up and did my phone like mirroring to it, but it always swaps. Like for some reason, it's the YouTube app. I haven't tried it with maybe if I do it with my laptop. I don't think I tried it with my laptop. Maybe I could try that. Whenever I do I tried it with my phone first. It would always just put just the video up on the TV. Like the chat would never show up. It was just the video. But I don't know if I ever tried it with my laptop because I would like to have it that way to where I've got like a TV like basically behind you with the chat big enough where I can read it with my eyes, like, and just be able to see it. But the reason why I was wanting to do it on my phone, I think, was because like sometimes I get behind and I have to come over here and scroll it with my finger. And like with my computer, that's not quite as easy. We use gas to clean oil-based paint. That's what normally I've used in the past. The little Debbie Christmas trees are out. There is a video with a TV on one of these. Sounds like a men's trip to Little Debbie Land. Yeah, I think that the park thing, I think it might be called a park. And I think basically they've just got big old, like the Little Debbie Christmas tree, but like life size, like a statue type. I think they've got like all those kinds of things all over the place. And then there's a store where they sell, and they've got like everything, like every option, even like the random ones that you don't see very often. I think you can buy those there. Smart TV has the app built in. Yeah, but like my TV, like in my house, if I watch a live stream, so that it would be the same thing like me out here. So like in my house, I can watch the live stream and I can pull up the chat. Like I can read the chat on my TV. Like if I'm watching somebody else's live stream, I can pull up the chat and it's scrolling, with it. But then there's still no way for me to like, oh, I missed that comment, go back to it, that kind of stuff. So that's why originally I was using my old phone trying to mirror it so I could hold that in my hand. And then I was hoping I was going to be able to see the chat up there and I'd be able to just sit here like this and move my finger back and forth and move it on my screen. But for some reason, whenever you do a mirroring of YouTube onto the TV, it was just putting just the video up there. Like it's kind of like it goes full screen type thing. Read it with my eyes. What do you usually read with? Well, I meant I won't have to sit here and do this like while y'all are looking at me. I was hoping I'd be able to look at you and be reading it at the same time, like a newscaster or something like I'm reading a teleprompter. So I didn't feel like I'm just sitting here. Y'all are looking at the top of my head the whole time. I'm sitting here reading. Oh, got to go spend some more money on vinyl trim. That stuff is so expensive. But I'd rather buy that than have to repaint all my stuff every so many years. It works pretty good. It cost me I think it cost me $300 just to wrap my garage door thing down there because I had to buy some like I think I can't remember if I bought 1x10s or I think I had to buy 1x12s, by 12 foot long for the jam part. And then I had to buy 1x4s that were 12 foot long for the outside. I think it cost me like, I want to say it was at least $250 or something like that, just for just that garage door. And then I had to buy all the stuff for my windows. Well, now I got to buy the starter board. Like I'm gonna put a vinyl board up before I start my vinyl siding on my gable, just so it kind of looks like a beam underneath of it. And then I got to do the inside of my porch area underneath the ceiling. And then I'm also going to put a board in the back to kind of break up the siding that I've got back there. I've already got the pieces for my windows. And then I got to buy the corners. And that should be about it. I think overall I'm going to have, I think I'm like $27,000 maybe in it right now. And that's even paying for a block person, paying somebody to put my roof on, my shingles, not the sheathing, but the shingles. And I think I don't have a lot more left to buy, like to be in it. And that includes also I bought all my insulation already for the walls for the inside. And then I also bought all my wall covering stuff for the inside. It's in my trailer back there because I got a good deal on it. So that's probably like $4,000 of it right now. So it's probably going to cost me about 25 to do what I've done to do the outside. They sell Hardy fiber cement trim now. Yeah, they've even got the LP trim as well. But if it's a trim that I'm going to paint, that I don't get the vinyl. But all the stuff that I'm putting up it's going to be white. It's going to stay white. So I'm just going to use the vinyl just so that I don't ever have to do anything to it. I've used it on a lot of places and it works out pretty well. Now, if it was not going to be white, then I don't use vinyl typically because I don't like painting the vinyl. There's several paints that you're not even supposed to use color wise and stuff like that on the vinyl because it makes it heat up so much. So anywhere where I'm putting up vinyl, it's because I'm not going to do anything to it and it's something that's going to stay white. Just got the M18 topper. I dig it. About time you spend some of that big YouTube money. Yeah. I've had a pretty good year work wise, money wise, so it's going to work out pretty good too. And it's been a good year as far as I've had a lot of I worked it out to where this time of year, which is what I try to do, is that this time of year I'm not doing any big jobs because it's starting to get colder and I don't want to do very many big things anyways. And there's all you got Christmas stuff coming up where you go do stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I try to do enough big jobs during the beginning of the year until nowish to where the last part of the year is just work that I'm going to fit in as people call me type stuff. And it frees me up to do a lot of the stuff because there's always a lot of stuff going on. But I've had a pretty good year in my business as far as, so it's actually helped that I've done this for tax purposes and stuff like that, just to be able to spend some of that money. Good thing you didn't have to pay for labor. Yeah, that's the only reason why I got it done for that cheap. Like if someone else was to do the same exact thing and pay somebody to do it, it'd be at least double, probably, I'd say. I just burn it for heat in the winter. They even sell 5/4 hardy board decking size. Yeah, they sell at I think my Lowe's has it. I'm not sure about Home Depot. I think Home Depot sells everything in the 3/4. And then I think my Lowe's sells the 3/4 and the 5/4 in the hardy, and then also in the LP both. And then Menards has both as well. Some way said supposedly you can use PVC cement to solvent weld the window casings together and install. Supposedly you can. I've done it. I haven't done it. I did it the very first time that I did it was at a job where I was doing a guy's garage door. Around his garage door, he had like it was metal wrapped before, and whoever wrapped it, it was around pressure treated lumber, which is a no. Like that stuff touches each other, it starts doing bad things. So I went there and took all that out. He wanted to replace it with vinyl, and I did it. And that was the first time where he's the one who actually kind of wanted me to do it that way. So I said, yeah, I said, I've never done it that way, but I'll try it. And I've done it at his. And then I started doing it since then. And as far as I know, it's not came apart as much as like what it has maybe, because it's real bad about, that's the one thing about PVC is that it does expand and contract a lot more than everything else. So like you've got to make sure that you've got good sealing in between them that's going to stretch, like big stretch or something like that, that's going to move with it, because it's going to move a lot more than like a, Hardy or LP or something like that. But I've tried the PVC glue and it seems like it works pretty well. You do need to try to stay away though. If you do it, you need to try to kind of stay away from putting it on that outside edge, because once you squeeze and that stuff comes through, it kind of puts that a different look to it, like if you get it on the face of it type thing. So you got to kind of almost just do it on the backside. Brian Clark, off-topic question: do you know where to buy the keychain style bit holders that 7-Eleven's L sells with the inline ratchet drivers? They have 3 ball bearings and hold anything that you put in them. Thanks. I don't have a clue. I haven't looked those up. I don't have a 7-Eleven L. I've looked at them, but I haven't ever bought one. So I don't know, but somebody else might know. We used to use flashing corner channels, then heat them up, and they bond the corners. Menards actually even sells corners of both vinyl in 5/4 and LP. I don't know if they got Hardy that way or not, but I know they got LP and vinyl that's already like mitered and glued together, like all one piece, looks like one piece, that you can buy that are pretty nice. I'm not going to use those corners. I'm going to just take 2 1x4s because my gutters are going to come down on 4 corners anyways and pretty much cover up all my corner boards. Breaking free, Joey. Now you have all 3 lights, both the M12s and the M18 Rover. Which one do you like the best? I use the M18 one still the most, just because of the size, the way it sets, and all those kinds of things like that. Run time is crazy. Like I put a battery in my M18 one, and it so happens to fit in my truck the best. It gets out real easy, and I basically run that battery what seems like for, I don't even know, months or whatever, without even having to worry about it. So that's the one I've been leaving in my truck and I grab the most. The M12s are both. I haven't used my other little smaller M12 as much since I've got that M18. That's the other one I leave in my truck. The other M12, yeah, I've got it hanging up there. I've been using that here. Like I've been taking it outside with me whenever I've been working, and when it starts getting a little bit dark. So I've just put it up here where I can turn it on and use it as a light there if I want to. But I put that little packout adapter thing up there where I just store it up here. So I'm using that kind of as a garage and around the house. That's the one I come in here and grab if I'm going to set it up on something. Gives me a little bit more light than like carrying a flashlight around with me type thing if I'm working. But I like the M18. I use it the most. How was weather? Raining here. Good day for TV. We had rain all last night, and then it kind of moved out. It's probably what's up your way now, I guess. I love the Milwaukee 500 lumens USB-C. It's flat, fits in the back pouch of my bag. Yeah, that's the one. Is that the one with like the flat but has the carabiner type thing on it? I don't think I got anything else that's capable of being shared yet. Well, we'll see how well this works again. Yeah, I've been using these paint trays like crazy. We'll see if it's still working. And it's a tight fit over here. I got stuff everywhere. You can see the color of the building anyways. So here's a silicone paint tray in case you weren't at the one live where I showed. So I had the silicone mud tray that I just recently bought, the Mud Flex, and I said I've been using these as my paint tray since then. So basically you just paint with this thing. It comes with a cover. You can stick the cover on there and leave your paint in there for like days. I've had it in there for at least 2 days. I don't know how much longer it would last past that, just on personal experience yet. But then when you're done, you just let this paint dry and boom. Ready to roll again. So I ended up buying 2 of these. I've got 2 of these. That's all I've used since I bought those. Mostly I bought them for the lid aspect because there's all sorts of times where I paint a coat and then I've got to let it dry, and maybe I come back the next day and I'm like, man, I really don't want to pour all that paint back in and clean up and get another one of these out. Now I've just been using that lid basically to keep that paint good, and it's worked out well. And then that works pretty awesome in my opinion. So that's the building color. I don't know what that shows up like on the screen, but yeah, you can see I've already done it a couple times. Take a day and pick up, tidy up. Well, all this stuff is like stuff that I'll be pulling out like tomorrow morning if I was to work on my building. So basically I got my track saws sitting out here. I got my 10-inch miter saw. I got my table saw. I did finally get all the extra. I had my siding sheets laying in here and I was pulling them out and cutting them out of here. But I'm done with my exterior siding. So I've got all, other than now, I'm going to use it on that ceiling. But so I've got it all. I took my extra sheets and put them in my trailer. I got some 2x4s. You'll see. So it's like everything, like my foam boards for my track saw, which actually I've been using a sheet of plywood on some sawhorses, which are also laying over there. My miter saw, my stand saw, I just pick it up and carry it in here. Workbench, other workbench with, frame and nailer, all that stuff on it. But all this stuff, basically, as soon as I open my garage door, whenever I start working on my garage again, it's just stuff that comes right back out. So here before too long, though, I'm going to be done with all that. And then I won't have to mess with getting that stuff back out every single day. Paint tray might be picking up. Yeah, it comes with a lid that's like this. Yeah, a silicone lid, same thing. This stuff will peel right off there. And again, like I'll paint like a coat of paint and just throw this on there. And I've left it that way for, I think I've done at least 2 days now. I don't know what they say it will do, but I've done at least 2 days. And I open it up and it's just like as whenever I poured it in there. It's not skinned over or anything like that. Bucket and a screen. Yeah, a lot of people like doing. I don't like messing. I don't normally do a lot of painting where I use 5-gallon buckets worth of paint. Like normally I build like, because matter of fact, if it's into that much painting, other than like this that I'm painting in my own garage, I have one of my friends that's a painter. I subcontracted out. Like I'll do like a a wall or whatever. But if I'm doing a whole space, I usually have somebody else do it because there's enough stuff for me to do in that instance where timing wise, it's worth it for me to just get somebody else to come in and paint it while maybe I'm working on floors or doing whatever. So I don't typically do the buckets and the screen. His mess is cleaner than many people's cleaned up space. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Like it's been this way for like the last couple of weeks. I'll come out here like what Matt said every once in a while and go ahead and put stuff up, and then again the next day it has to come back out. But even then, I do it just because I can't stand it. I'm more I'm more OCD ish, anal, whatever it is you want to call it, about my truck. It drives me crazier about my truck than it does. I don't know if that's because I'm sitting in it and I can kind of feel the stuff and I'm in that more often than what my building does, but it still bugs me. What brand for the paint tray? It is repaint tray is what the lid says. I think it's at Lowe's is where I got mine, and I just so happened to be walking through the paint aisle one day and it was on clearance and it wasn't that much off. It was one of those yellow tags at Lowe's where maybe it was like $3 or $4 off, whatever the normal price is. It wasn't something crazy. So I bought mine there. I don't know if they're anywhere else or not. I want to say I did see them at like homedepot.com. I've not seen them in the store though. They weren't on Amazon whenever I looked. What's up, Brian Hall? I bet if my chat was about battery prices for Milwaukee, I saw Milwaukee. I was like, man, I got to read that. He would have read it. Matt uses the plastic ceiling tiles under my paint trays and the paint peels off the 2-foot square. Repaint Studios. I think that is the name of the brand. I think that's the name of the company. Did it come with a metal tray or just the liners? Yeah, everything that's right here. So this tray comes with that. And then this. And then the lid. I like them. Sometimes, occasionally, you're actually better off. So, like, if you do something to buy one, like, there's been time, like, at the end. So, like, man, I wish I hadn't cleaned that out. But so, basically, like, you're better off to have this whole entire thing coated and let it dry that way than to have it to where, like, maybe you've only rolled paint on this and you got a little splotch up here and a little splotch here. Sometimes it's hard to get, like if you don't get it all in one pull, then it's a little bit of a pain to get in here to the little one. So what I do at the end is I just take my roller and just kind of paint the whole thing and then let it dry. That I just leave the lid off of it and let it dry, and then it peels out just like that. So you're better off to kind of coat the whole thing with a coat of paint. It makes it a little easier on cleaning than if it's kind of splotchy. So if you get one, that's a tip. Did you ever get any plastic ceiling tiles? No, I haven't got any to try those yet, Matt. Just lid and tray covers, $22. I don't have any other. I don't know if it'll fit in the. I don't have any other trays out here to see how well it fits, like in a, like one of the metal ones or something, or that you get at Home Depot or somewhere. Never mind, out of stock. I think HomeDepot.com. I don't know if they're out of stock there or not. I want to say that's the two places I saw them. Was Lowe's was online and then also in the store. And I think Home Depot might have had them just in the app, not in the store. That at my store. So you might check there. I bought one originally on clearance. And I was like, well, I'll try it and see what I think about it. And then I used it. And then I decided I'm gonna go back in there. And they still had another one where I went back in there. And again, I bought it. the cleaning part's one thing. You know, I bought it for the lid purpose to see how well that worked. And once I saw that that worked, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy some more of these because, like I said, it's always the case for me. I'll usually end up going and building a wall. I can do the tape coat, another coat of like 5 or 20 minute mud, and then do a finish coat of like the dust proof, whatever that, the dust control that I use. You can probably see that up there, I guess. I use that. I can get that all done in one day. Usually I can hang the drywall and get it finished to the point of where I can come in the next day and sand and prime and do a first coat. And then sometime, depending upon the timing of it, it's usually I got to wait the next day to go in and do like a finish coat and then put on vinyl base and do whatever else I got to do. So I try to get it done in like a 2-day period type thing. But it always never fails. Like if I do that first coat, I usually don't have enough time to get that second one on, and it works out well for me that I can just put that lid on there. Anyone repairing rotten sink bottom, the 3-foot by 2-foot plastic ceiling tiles work fantastic. How's my Astro socket rail from the Thursday video? They're still sitting back here. Thursday's when I left out, and I filmed that Wednesday night, so they're sitting back here. I haven't really gotten around to loading them out or anything. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and get off here. I gotta go pick up Miss Maintenance after the baby shower, but I had some time, so I thought I'd come out here and do a live since I didn't get to do one on Thursday. Travis Williams said, got here late, was at the race. Does anyone in the chat know what happened to the hummingbird? I did end up getting the hummingbird out, like alive and everything. I got him out that night. It was later that night during that live, but did finally get it out. Have a good one too, Woodchuck. But I'm gonna get off here. I've got my thing on do not disturb. She might have already been texting me for all I know, saying I'm leaving here. So I'm gonna get off here and go to town, pick her up, and then pick up a few things for here tomorrow to work on my garage. And then I'll have to go probably tomorrow and get the bigger order later because that place isn't open on the weekend. So we'll see y'all on the next one.